Ladies and gentlemen, this is huge news. Share this segment everywhere. NBC News, FBI to show House oversight leaders document in Biden probe on Monday. Now, this is different from hush money payments in New York, okay? They desperately try to throw everything at Trump for public relations purposes. Has nothing to do with the rule of law. They're trying to elevate misdemeanors utilizing an FEC crime that doesn't exist. The FEC did not find Trump. The FEC fined Clinton and the DNC. But Trump is the criminal mastermind, okay? Here you have actual felonies, okay? Not some kind of contrived, politically motivated stunt just to appease a rabid, apoplectic base of highly educated, morally superior liberal Democrats who desperately want Trump to be found guilty of some crime. So in New York, there are misdemeanors that he allegedly committed, paying Stormy years back in 2016 because she said that she would go ahead and tell the world about their affair, which she hasn't proven that it took place anyway. But that is breaking the law. You can't go and say, I'm going to tell the world about something embarrassing unless you give me money. That is actually a legal statute that she broke. Here you have the Federal Bureau of Investigation, an actual serious crime, felony, withholding a letter that shows that Joe and Hunter engaged in a bribery scheme for $5 million. This is in addition to the millions upon millions of dollars that flowed through companies that were also linked to possible graft and bribery and kickbacks. Okay? U.S. foreign policy, where you have hundreds of millions of dollars flowing into accounts or foundations run by Democrats, where U.S. foreign policy is altered because of the money given or hush money payments. Gee, which one do you think is more important? Gee, which one do you think is more detrimental to the future of this country? Hush money payments? Which, by the way, wasn't a crime. Still isn't. And will be overturned on appeal either in New York or by the Supreme Court. Or an obvious racket, an obvious scheme where people are giving money to Joe and through Hunter, where his emails in the New York Post specifically list, if you have to read the New York Post reporting, the New York Post deserves Pulitzer Prizes. The journalists that broke the story deserve Pulitzer Prizes. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. The New York Post reporting deserved Pulitzer Prizes for breaking the story of hundreds of millions of dollars going into Hunter's accounts and beneficial treatment and altering U.S. foreign policy taking place. When Joe Biden was vice president, we'll read this here. Hit subscribe to my new Patreons. Thank you. Super thanks. Thank you. Go to hagoodman.com to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications. But here, Committee Chair James Comer had stated he was going to hold FBI Director Christopher Wray in contempt of Congress if he did not turn over the document to the panel. The Federal Bureau of Investigation will let the chair and ranking member, this is an NBC News article, of the House Oversight Committee to review a document describing an allegation that Joe Biden accepted. Now, this is huge, ladies and gentlemen. These are felonies that will follow them after his tenure as president, because they're going after Trump. He's left the presidency through what? It's going on 3 years now. Don't think that Republicans and Trump won't do the same thing with a new attorney general. So Democrats always break norms and traditions, then complain and, scream and yell at the top of their lungs about norms and traditions. They're constantly rewriting the record book, tearing apart norms and traditions, having the usual temper tantrum at volume number 11 at all times. But here, the Federal Bureau of Investigation will let the chair and ranking member of the House Oversight Committee review a document describing an allegation that Joe accepted a bribe as vice president, but will delete information that could reveal the source's identity. A senior law enforcement official. Okay. Committee Chairman James Comer subpoenaed the Federal Bureau of Investigation last month for the form which he and Chuck Grassley claim describes an alleged criminal scheme involving Biden, quote, relating to the exchange of money for policy decisions. Relating to the exchange of money for policy decisions. You can't get more detrimental to U.S. foreign policy. We are supposed to be a sovereign country. If you, there was a very, very renowned and respected intellectual. I'm not gonna go into who he is, but he just said, kickbacks, big deal. I don't care what happened with Hunter and Joe. I would never vote for Trump because, and then just, oh my God, he's the end of the world. There is nothing that Trump ever did that is as detrimental to the country as what Biden and Joe did that Joe and Hunter did with that laptop. Nothing. There's nothing that Trump has ever done, not even close to the detrimental to the negative foreign policy consequences linked to Hunter's laptop. Okay? We have an invasion in Europe now. Biden was the point person for that country. Do the math. It's not difficult to do. Is it just, everything with Democrats is coincidental, right? Well, it's not Biden's fault. Yeah, it is. There was zero emphasis on negotiating. Gee, why do you think that was? It might have something to do with all the money. Why do you think Democrats align their domestic policies with the domestic policies of our most populous of the most populous country on the planet? Think about that. This is why you should subscribe to this channel. Every once in a while, I come up with a gem. Why do you think that Democrats, ladies and gentlemen, think about this throughout the day or the weekend? This is a great question to ask yourself, or any like-minded person. Definitely don't get into a debate with anybody. Why have Democrats the past 4 years or so done almost exactly or very similar to what was done in the most populous country in the world in terms of draconian policies, counterproductive policies regarding a whole plethora of issues, especially the main issue that caused Democratic governors to shut down economic activity and their states, in many cases gleefully. They didn't have to do that. That was a choice. But why are these domestic policies, why are our domestic policies so similar to countries that give money to Joe and Hunter? When Joe told on himself, literally told on himself, and said that he forced out a prosecutor and he withheld $1 billion in loan guarantees. And then you have this passionate Democrat who was apparently part of Trump's impeachment, and he said he proved that Joe didn't do anything that was harmful, and it was because the prosecutor wasn't doing his job. Guess what? That Democrat never had the New York Post reporting, never had access to Hunter's laptop, never had access to the 100+ financial transactions that were deemed suspicious by financial institutions going into Hunter and Joe's account, and didn't read the emails asking for influence on behalf of the company. They're literally emails on Hunter's laptop asking for influence on behalf of the company. I mean, you'd have to be a buffoon not to see what's going on. Mashed potato brains, and God bless him, I don't like to see anybody stumble. I honestly don't like that. I don't enjoy that. But you see what Democrats are doing to him. I mean, this is a global embarrassment. But Democrats don't care. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Impeachment, people. If you lasted this long, has just started. It has just started, people. Hit subscribe.